Was that a practice?
Yeah, that was practice because apparently I did not hit the go live button. They've changed it on me. So
there's been a whole lot of changes on this stuff, man. Like it's all different on my end too.
Yeah, Chad, I'll apologize. It's been like 6 months since we've done a live just because we've been busy with live. So,
hey, there we go. I think we're live now.
Yeah, we're live now. So we may. I mean, if you got the time, if not, we'll just.
I'm fine.
We'll kind of restart here. Let some people come in.
Chad, it was a practice round.
That's right. That's
well, we got the technical difficulties figured out. So
yeah,
I'll tell you what, Chad, if you're okay with it, let me take us all back off and we'll start new. Oh, there we go. I got some comments now. Hey guys. All right. So let's kind of just settle out since we figured out the technical issues. Take another 5 minutes and let people kind of join in. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Appreciate it, guys. All right, guys. So what had happened was I've not done a live in forever, and I apparently did not hit the go live button, which didn't realize I was supposed to do because it's been so long. So what we're going to do is going to give 5 minutes, let people come in, join in. We already had talked a lot, but we want to make sure this information gets out to the rest of the world. So I'm gonna hop off, start the little music here, and we're back in just a few. right, everybody. Let's try this again. Been about 6 months since we did a live, so didn't realize I made a big oopsie and didn't actually hit the go live button like I thought I did. But that's okay. I got some great guests that were very understanding to my whoopsies. But let's go ahead and bring them back in. You guys know him. He's always with me now. He's become my best friend, and thankfully he likes to talk more than me, so he fills in my gaps. So let's bring out Tripping Over Toys, Mr. Tyler.
What's up, everybody? Hello.
Hey, can you hear us this time? Everything good now? We had tech issues earlier, which kind of played into.
Everything's working, and my camera still looks like crap, but I can't do anything about that right now. So,
well, it might be the camera, but whatever.
It honestly is not. It was free. It's a webcam. Normally, though, I have a lot of lights set up, and I use OBS to like control the camera because you can change a lot of camera settings. Anyway, I'm here. I'm happy I'm here. And it's Friday.
All right, great. So. Great. And we've already kept our other guests waiting too long. He's been very understanding with this whole whoopsie. So let's bring him back out. Mr. Chad Flatt with Music City Toys and Collectibles at Watertown, Tennessee. There we go, Chad. I think we're live now. We can see people.
All right. Hey, we're just going to pretend that didn't happen. This is great. Everything's smooth sailing now.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. Well, it kind of worked out because we was having some tech issues beginning, so it kind of worked out a little bit. So hopefully we'll get some more people joining in here in just a minute. So, Chad, if you will, I know you've already did this once, but I'm gonna kind of let you have the floor to tell about your event you got going on next Saturday, the 22nd, at your store.
Yeah, that's right. So next Saturday, March 22nd, beginning at noon, at our store, we're going to have a couple actresses from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers universe. Catherine Sutherland and Nakia Baris are going to be there, the Pink and Yellow Ranger, respectively, from Zeo and Turbo. And looking forward to seeing a lot of Ranger fans out there, meeting a lot of new faces, making some new friendships, hopefully, and bringing those ladies out to meet some of the faithful Ranger fans in Middle Tennessee and beyond. We usually have, when we do signings, we'll usually have people from multiple states come to the event. So I'm looking forward to seeing where people come from next weekend.
Now, I didn't know that bit of information. You do have a lot of people coming out from out of state for your signings. I know you do a lot of wrestling signings.
Yeah, we do. That's most of what we've done. We had Butch Patrick, who was Eddie Munster on the Munsters. We had him there a couple years ago when we first opened. But and we've had a baseball player, Howard Johnson, played for the New York Mets back in the 80s and early 90s. Hojo, we had him there as well. But that was a virtual signing, so that wasn't open to the public. But yeah, most of the signings we've done are pro wrestling legends from the 80s, 70s, 80s, early 90s, and we'll get people from 5-6 different states most of the time. So I'm hoping we have that same kind of passionate fans that show up next weekend.
Right. Well, it was a couple months now. I've been trying to help get the word out as best I can. I know Tyler's been trying to help a little bit, just trying to get Tennessee to come together. We have Ranger fans, but they're just so spread out within the state of Tennessee. There's not a cluster of us like there is in Texas, where there's cluster here. I mean, it's just
that's just the way
it is.
Think we know each other yet, right? Like Nashville's an interesting place for this sort of community, in my opinion. And I think a lot of that's evidence, in like going to conventions and, there's a good amount of turnout, but it's not as big as like, say you went to Huntsville or Atlanta. Some of those conventions are huge. And I feel like Nashville can support it. Like this mid-state area certainly can, but, I think that's part of our mission is to try to find, the people here in the mid-state, get everybody connected, prop up our local shops like you're doing, Chad. Like I can't wait to come out. I mean, I'm literally like 20 minutes from you. I had no idea, honestly, that the shop was there, and shame on me because I'm super excited to come out next weekend and check out the place, hopefully spend some money.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, you will. I wrote in there and not intending to spend money, and I did.
You got a couple of things in this Power Ranger collection that I need. To finish up a couple of things in some of the lines I'm collecting. I came across an amazing lot of items a couple of years back of the original toys, all in the box. I sold, everything that I didn't need, if you will, but there were a couple of gaps, and I see in the pictures you've got a couple of things.
Yeah, let me pull those up again. I know you didn't really get to see him a minute ago, but yeah, this is, and Chad, the story you told earlier about how this all came about is just a great story. If you don't care, just kind of tell that again.
Yeah, so I've been contacted by an agent that handles the bookings for a lot of the actors and actresses from the Power Rangers, and had wanted to set up the signing. And I guess Catherine and Nakia usually do like a little tour, like a 3-day little loop. They'll do like,
weekend tour.
Yeah, 3 different cities kind of across the state. And they had they'd come across my shop. I don't know if I'd been suggested to them or they found me, but whatever the case was. And so I read the email and I was pondering it, thinking about it. I was like, because one of my missions for 2025 was to kind of let people know that, because we're known for pro wrestling, but we've got a lot more and we do a lot more. And that's kind of one of my missions for this year was, if you're a wrestling fan, you're a wrestling collector, we're your one-stop shop for that. But we do other things as well. And I wanted to kind of branch out and kind of, let people know that, hey, we are more than just wrestling. So that opportunity presented itself, and I was thinking about it. And I just read the email. It hadn't been maybe 10, 15 minutes, and the phone rings, and the lady says, "Do you buy toys?" And I said, "Well, we do. Depends on what you've got." Blah blah blah. She said, "Well, I've got a vintage Power Rangers collection, this massive collection that my father put together in the early '90s, and he had passed, and she was kind of going through his things, and that's kind of one of the things we've done in the past too. Is kind of we do a lot of consignment." Sales for people like estates and things of that nature. And so I was like, this, it's like this, that was a sign. If I needed a sign, that was it, So I was like, this is an opportunity to feature his collection, which I'm sure, if he was a big Ranger fan, and obviously he was, that, he would enjoy knowing that his collection was being featured in an event like this.
Right.
Some of the actresses, so that was kind of cool. And so it just kind of all came together and hoping that all those things are kind of good luck for us,
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I was trying to show the pictures a little better, but hopefully you guys could see a little bit of it. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong here on that, but yeah, there's the original Megazord, and most of the stuff is supposedly still sealed, correct? That's what you were told.
Sealed. He even kept the receipts where he purchased it at Walmart back in the day.
Oh, no way. Wow. Come on now.
Yeah.
I want to see the prices. Like that's
right. I was kind of curious about that too.
It's like I see all the time people post Kmart and like various ads with the prices from back in the day, and it's just or even people who like have collectibles that still have the original price tag on them.
Yeah.
And I remember buying it was the assault team from the Thunder Megazord, and I remember taking a trip to Toys R Us, is where I bought it from. This would have been whenever it was new on the shelves back in the 90s, and it was maybe $30, and I was like, dude, this is big money. I had saved up like all my money from birthdays and various things, and I was big spending at that time. Oh, this is great. Oh, was that the black and gold?
Yeah, black and gold. I noticed our buddy Ranger Rich think he saw the black and gold, so I kind of had to bring that in a little bit for him to see there.
Yeah, I love the black and gold, as you can tell. So,
Well, it sounds like you need that one then, Tyler.
Yeah. Well, this one that was the Legacy line. I want to I want to get the black and gold for the Legacy line, but I love the OG toys. I mean, I actually never owned the original like Megazord or Dragonzord or Titanus. My neighbor had them, as well as the Shogun Zords, but I had everything from like the Thunder Zords through Zeo. I kind of missed out on those original ones being in the store. I was a late bloomer as a fan, So maybe like a season 2 kind of guy. So,
and I just want to hit a couple of these comments because we were late to the game thanks to my whoopsie.
Yeah, say hi.
We got Frankie who kind of came in first off, as he should, and he's our buddy down in Chattanooga area.
That's right.
He's going to be hitting up Ranger Stop, and hopefully he'll can make the drive that weekend to Watertown next weekend.
Frankie, let's go.
Let's see, and our buddy Ranger Restaurant Repair, what's up? Just finally getting everything worked out. We had some whoopsie issues on me in the first part, but that's okay. We got it worked out. Our buddy Josh, hey Matt and Tyler, hey bud, thanks for joining. And we got my mentor, the Legacy Nerd.
We got some royalty.
Can't believe I got him pulled away long enough for him to show up for a second. That's
up, Daniel.
Thanks for joining.
We got
Let's see. The man collects. Hey, everyone. Thanks for
Chris.
joining us.
Yeah, man, Chris. It's another big one. Yeah, welcome, Chris.
You know people by name. I need to do better at that. Most
So
of the
he's
time,
up
just
in Kingsport area, or I believe like he's up near like the Tri-Cities area. He may need to jump into the comments, but so just a quick plug on Chris's stuff. The man collects. So that was actually one of the things that encouraged me to go do a lot of these toy hunt videos. Chris is known for almost daily posting these toy hunts, right? I mean, he must live in these stores. So I love him. I love watching him. It helps me keep up to speed with what's going on. And he's somewhat in market being up in the Tri-Cities area, but Chris, come down to Watertown.
yeah, me and Tyler will be there. So
yeah.
But yeah, we had Josh said he was Power Ranger fan. Frankie's Power Ranger wrestling fan. So Frankie, this man's got the wrestling. So come on up.
Both those worlds will be coming together next weekend. So
oh yeah, and if you guys haven't, go look at the video I posted a few weeks ago where I took a tour of his shop. So definitely can see if you're a wrestling fan, that's where it's going to be at. And he's starting to expand more of his other things. I actually left out there with more pops than anything.
The guy that always was like, man, I'm not collecting pops. I'm not collecting pops.
They all
and he got his first one and it went bonkers.
That's your fault because you told me there was a Chris Farley one.
Yeah, I have a few. I have a couple.
Well, I blame you that because you told me there was Chris Farley ones and that ain't no existing. That's what started the whole thing.
Yeah, that's what started it. Chris Farley, the Lunch Lady Land 50th anniversary pop that just came out.
Then when I went to Chad's store, I seen he had Happy Gilmore ones. I ended up getting those and Back to the Future ones. So
yeah. I love the 2-pack with Bob Barker and Happy, where they're like, fighting. I mean, that's pretty iconic. But matter of fact, I saw that again, and I've seen that actually randomly twice. So kind of talking about
it was at Nashville, I think. I think it was at Nashville Celebrity Con.
The Celebrity Con, there was one, and
your price was better, Chad.
The toy. So, and Chad, there's something else too. So, Totally Rad Toy House, whom you have a booth at. Just a little plug to those guys. I guess it's not Toy House anymore; it's Collectors Emporium. They did that little name switcheroo for funny reasons. Actually, we'll get into in another video. But anyway, so we saw your booth there, and we went and checked out that store. But they are, I guess, sponsoring or putting on a toy show. There's like 5 different ones. It was in Antioch at a high school or a school. Not sure if you came to that or had a table there, but just a little plug, right? Like just trying to get all this stuff locally. It's something maybe to come check out sometime. It was a pretty cool event. It was in a high school gymnasium. There were it's like $20 to get a table, which is pretty cheap, I think. I thought about cleaning out my attic because it's like I have so much stuff that I need to sell. Which do you do eBay stuff or do you do consignment or anything like else? Like obviously you have a little area in Totally Rad Collectors Emporium, but you do eBay or any of that too?
We do from time to time, not as much as I used to do since I opened the store. I kind of funnel everything through there and through our website, but we will do eBay occasionally. We do a lot of consignment sales, so we got a lot of items on consignment from other customers and other collectors. So yeah, we do all that kind of stuff. So
how'd you start all this?
Well, it's weird. It's been a long, weird journey. So I guess around 1988, which probably before you were born.
No.
Okay.
86.
Okay.
85 here. Yeah.
We're cutting it close, but we're close. But
I was playing with rubber Hulk Hogan figures.
The LJNs, yeah, absolutely. I put some of those out today. But so I got into because the big thing in the 80s, the mid 80s, was the baseball card boom, the sports card boom.
Heck
so,
yeah.
When you're young and you're that age, I was in grade school, so you do whatever your friends are doing. So all my friends were into baseball cards. So of course I got into baseball cards and it kind of went on from there. And I dealt in sports memorabilia. I was the kid on the playground that bought the box of cards and was selling cards at recess and trading and wheeling and dealing. And just kind of
never
blossomed
stopped.
from there. Never stopped. And so I started
Hustling
doing,
out there on the playground, be like, here
oh
we
yeah,
go.
yeah. I started doing sports card shows and conventions, and opened my first store inside the Highway 111 mini mall north of Cookeville back in 2002. And I stayed there for about 10 years, moved to the Cookeville Mall for about a year. And
Is that the
then,
old flea market or?
yep. And then
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I had 6 booths in there. I had a 600 square foot space in there. And then went to the Cookeville Mall for about a year, and then moved out of there when we moved down to, well, because I lived in Cookeville. I guess I should have said that. But I moved down to Wilson County and to the Nashville area, and so that was a little bit of a drive every weekend. So that I closed that
Yeah,
spot
it
up
was.
there. Yeah, I closed that spot up there, and I started doing conventions. And so we did conventions from 2013 to 2021, which is where we opened our retail store there in Watertown. So, and over the years we branched out, away from sports memorabilia to comics, toys, pop culture related stuff, just kind of through the years. And then I sold off the majority of my sports card collection in 2017, my inventory there, which I try not to think about it because of what the market's done with the sports memorabilia and sports cards the last few years. But
Especially when
I would
2020 hit.
I would definitely be retired on an island somewhere if I still had that stuff in 2020. But
Yep.
nobody could have.
I got rid of all my
what was
stuff
going to
before
happen.
that. I was one of those kids that my dad was really into baseball cards, and so between like 89 and 93, I mean, we pretty much bought like the boxes of anything baseball, basketball, football. And I had a cousin that was really big into it as well. I mean, he was big into it. And then I think back to like Shaquille O'Neal rookie cards, stuff that we had and that we sold for like really nothing before they were really big. I remember trading all of mine in at one point at a store, and I maybe got like $200 for everything,
Right.
So
Yeah, the 80s and 90s were definitely the age of mass production for the sports card world because of just the market and everybody was into it and they were just pumping them out to meet the demand. But it's funny, when COVID hit in 2020 and everything changed in the collectibles world, and it was, you mentioned Shaquille O'Neal. It's funny because his basic Topps rookie card from 1992 had been a $10 card for 15 years or better. And that year, for some reason, it started selling for like $100. Just the basic Topps rookie card, $100. Because people were getting them graded. Everything's got to be graded now. You're starting to see it in all forms of collectibles, from comics to toys to tennis shoes to video games to you name
it's
it.
wild, isn't it? Like, I don't it's crazy. Like, I'm sitting on a ton of Pokemon and Lorcana cards that I need to get rid of.
All that stuff. Pokemon's red hot right now.
It's crazy hot, right? Like, so
When's Pokemon never hot?
It's gone through lulls, it's definitely gone through lulls. I think we kind of got into it during a low point where it wasn't so hot, and I mainly got into it to play with my son. Like, he wanted to play the game, right? So, which I have to say, it's actually quite fun. Like, I mean, it was never my thing growing up, but it's pretty fun. I don't know.
Right. And you think like the toy world especially is all built on nostalgia, it goes in cycles, 25, 30 years or so when the kids who played with those toys grow up, become adults, get jobs,
have
a little
money,
bit of disposable income. Exactly. And so then they want to buy up
credit
stuff
cards
that reminds them of their childhood. They want to buy up those toys again. So it kind of goes in cycles. But I wonder, like, toys are not that big of a thing now as they were, previous generations. Everything's electronics, and the Pokemon cards and things like that are still popular. But I wonder in another, in 30 years, what's that generation of adults going to be buying that they played with as kids?
Yeah, because it's our generation of adults that's teaching our kids about this stuff and trying to show them how cool it is. And sometimes
we've held on to like so my son's 15 now. And I just kind of refer to him as like Little Trippin or Trippin Jr. right in videos, because he loves kind of getting out there and doing all this too. But we've kept everything of his because I tried to keep as much of my childhood stuff. So one of the first things we collected actually were Paw Patrol stuff. Interestingly enough, we sold it all years ago, like the original Paw Patrol and the Cars from like the Cars movies. And some of those are like crazy valuable, crazy valuable. And we've got bins on bins on bins of them. So we tried to hang on to all this stuff so that one day we can hand it off to him and he can experience it all with his kids. Right. Because I tried really hard to introduce him to Mighty Morphin Power Rangers mainly, right? Like the OG line, which is what Playmates is trying to do now. Reintroduce a whole new generation into it. But at that time, Power Rangers was still going. It was Megaforce and Super Megaforce just coming out of Samurai. So he kind of had his own generation to get into. And luckily, Ninja Turtles was the same way. The 2012 Ninja Turtles came out. That was his generation of Ninja Turtles. We have literally everything they made, from figures and play sets and stuff like that from that time. And we've still got them, right? We've hung on to all of them because, hoping that he can have the same sort of spark and keep this sort of thing rolling,
That's the hope, and we did a story for News Channel 2 a little over a year ago, and they were just doing a story on nostalgia and toy stores and things. They were talking about the effect of movies and how that plays into the, how that influences buying decisions or whatever. But, one of the things I said during that interview is if you walk down the toy aisle in Target or Walmart, or you walk into a store like ours, what you're going to see on the shelves is the same thing you would see on the shelves in 1980s and 90s. It's all the same brands. You got your Star Wars, you got your Masters of the Universe, you got all
Turtles.
that stuff.
Ain't that crazy?
Turtles, Power Rangers. It's all the same. It's all the same. So there's really no new ideas. There's just new takes on
you got
old
Skippity.
things.
Are there reissued of the same toys that was just remolded?
Yeah. So that tells you that the 80s and 90s were the best times.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. Well, like wrestling stuff, I'm not a huge wrestling. I was in the day, like the day of NWO and like WCW heyday. Oh man, that was my thing, Goldberg and all that. Anyway, so I've become very enamored by a lot of the action figures because they look so good. Right.
Oh, yeah.
Like
they do a fantastic
you got a lot of these like throwback Hollywood Hogans and, a lot of the, characters that I grew up watching,
right.
And they look great. They're like the action figures I wish I would have had as a kid. Instead, I had that little rubber one that, and the wrestling buddies, the pillows, right?
Oh, yeah.
Had those pillows. So
we actually had a complete set of those at our grand opening of the wrestling buddies. Some still in the box.
Oh wow!
One collector came in and bought them all. He's like, I've never seen them all together. I'm getting every one of them. So
that's amazing.
He knocked them all out that day.
We'll sell them to you.
Warrior and Hogan. Those are the two I had.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Matt. Sorry.
Oh, you guys are good. I don't talk as much as you. Just in some of these comments real quick here. I think I already did that one. Roses. Oh man, that's an old store that's no longer around. Then just sat down for the first time today. I found that hard to believe, but it very well could be possible. He's a busy man.
He's got kids and all this stuff going on.
Yeah, works from home and does this crazy channel. I don't know how he does
buddy.
it.
You work from home too, so
must be nice. Laboratories on my room is full of wrestling figures. Well, this man's got them. If you want to restock them,
sometimes. So anyway,
only a few rest my favorite because Cody Rhodes Funko Pops.
And the Dusty Rhodes, like this Ultimates one that came out, for some reason I love it. I don't know why. Yeah. It's just like the perfect embodiment of Dusty Rhodes.
You would probably enjoy. You may have seen some of them. The Monday Night War line that's out.
Oh yeah.
It's the guys. They're doing some of the guys from WWE, some of the guys from WCW back in the NWO era that you were just talking about. So that would be something.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be something tailor-made for you if you wanted to get into some wrestling figures. And
that was the era.
Line, so.
Hey, Matt's already started me in DC Multiverse. I got my first one of those. So I had to get.
Oh yeah, I sold you one.
Had to get 89 Batman. Batman is supreme. So.
Right. Of course, Range Racer living in the van down by the road. Yeah, if I keep spending this kind of money, yeah. This money makes toys. Yep. And when you were talking earlier about how your son collects, and
yes,
apparently his son collects everything though. So
yes,
You
Dude,
collect a
my
lot too.
attic
I've
is
seen your
more
basement.
full of his stuff than mine. I'm not even kidding. You know, he's got hot toys. I don't. So that gives you an idea. You know? Yeah.
But you play with it like it's yours.
Yeah, I mean, I had a good photo session with Deadpool. It was fun, you know.
Oh yeah.
But
Now, Chad, you was telling me because Tyler, this is the event you like to go to every year, the Fan Expo in Knoxville.
Yes.
Are you,
Fanboy.
Chad? I believe you said you were planning on.
Yeah, we'll be there this
sponsoring
year.
somebody?
We'll be there this year. We haven't done a fanboy since 20.
20
We'll give him a
something.
second.
We'll give him a second. Maybe he
Yeah.
phone might have died or something. I don't know. Okay,
Well,
fanboy.
there we go.
Stop.
There we go. We got you back.
Sorry, I got another spam call. They're calling all hours of the day and night here.
Hey, are they offering you loans or telling you that your
Yes.
application for a loan? Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
got.
There's not that many people on.
Yeah, it's hundreds
Come
of
on.
thousands of dollars of loans that I could take out at any moment there.
Oh, yes, same.
There's only
Think
a
how
few
many
people.
toys we could buy with that, Chad?
I know. I don't know who sold my information, but somebody has, because I'm getting a crazy amount of calls.
Oh, it's wild. I mean, all day. I mean, my voicemail, I cleared it out the other day. I counted, I had like 47 voicemails.
Yeah, well, my cell phone number is also my business number, so it's out there on the internet.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I've blocked 500 numbers in the last couple months.
Yes.
Like, it's insane.
And they just keep coming up with new
Keep
ones.
coming, yeah.
All right.
So
Yeah, my
fanboy,
little one
fanboy.
wouldn't stay away, so she's gonna hang out here. There's only a few of us watching, so it'll be okay. And
Let's
Tyler,
go
she sees
fanboy.
you.
We're telling about fanboy. Oh, hello.
Sorry about that. She was
My
banging at the door,
9-year-old's
wanting
asleep on
in.
the floor here, so
What's that?
I said my 9-year-old's asleep on the floor here, so she's
Oh,
like
nice.
I wish mine would go to bed on the floor. But she plans on coming next week, so her and Catherine are like this,
Oh, okay, cool.
aren't
Yeah.
you?
Oh yeah. Matter of fact, that's why I had to set it up here, right? Like, you know, Kat's
Nice.
beautiful signature. So
Yeah.
she's such a sweetheart. So I need Amy Jo. So if you can book Amy Jo sometime soon.
There you go. Yeah, complete that. Yeah.
Yeah, I need Amy Jo.
Good luck with
right
that
there,
one.
so, yeah. Anyway,
She'll be in Denver in April. So
yeah, I'm not in Denver though. But I want to hear about fanboys. So you're going to fanboy?
Yeah, we'll be set up at Fanboy. We used to do Fanboy every year. We haven't done one since 2019. So
Yeah.
looking
It's a
forward
good
to getting back
show.
over there for that show. Yeah. It's
a good
a
show. It's
huge show.
It's
It's crazy.
yeah, it's a really good one. I think the lineup is stacked like really good this year. I haven't checked it in a couple of weeks, see if they've added anybody else, but it's always like Elijah Wood, Alec Baldwin, you know, lots of just people you wouldn't expect to see, you know.
Yeah, the one that I popped for the most, believe it or not, was Bob Eubanks.
Bob Eubanks.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Yeah, he's gonna
Game
be
show
there.
He'll probably
host
sit in a
legend
chair.
Bob Eubanks. Yeah, I saw that one. I was like, that's pretty cool. You just don't see that kind of stuff. You know, it's unique. So I kind of like that. So
Are you gonna meet him? Are you gonna?
I may because I was a big game show fan back in the
Yes,
day.
so-
Like,
yep.
you know, the syndicated shows, and when the Game Show Network came along, I watched a lot of the old game shows
Yes.
there. But you know, being home from school on snow days, you had to watch the game shows
Yep.
before the soap operas
Price
came
is
on.
Right.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
so yeah,
But that was the
I
best
got to
though.
see,
Those were good times. Those are good
I got to
times.
see Bob Eubanks, the Newlywed Game and Card Sharks. You know,
Oh yeah.
Let's see who
Well,
else is
I'm
gonna
going to show this real quick, Chad, and in case there's somebody that's joined us now just recently, if you just want to talk about this again real quick, think about your event next Saturday.
yeah. For anybody that's tuned in the last little bit, next Saturday, March 22nd, beginning at noon, we're going to have Catherine Sutherland and Nakia Baris at our shop signing autographs and meeting fans beginning at noon. And the pink and yellow Ranger there from Zio and Turbo, and it's going to be hopefully a great day. Hopefully a lot of Ranger fans come out. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we have good weather because we're faced with some weather challenges tonight and tomorrow as we're recording here. So hopefully that stays away and everything's good. But should be a good fun event, and we're looking forward to it.
Good. Yeah, I know I am for sure, and I know Tyler is. So we're excited to come down and hang out, and of course see them and try to help get support out any way we can for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you guys and all that you've done to help spread the word about it and just our store in general. There's
Oh man, yes,
Happy to do it.
I feel ashamed that I haven't been there yet. Like,
You should feel ashamed.
I should. Watertown is not far. Like,
yeah.
I'm in the northeast Murfreesboro area outside of Las Casas, in Las Casas.
Oh yeah. You're just right. You're not far at all. Yeah.
I'm real close. Yeah.
Trying to show these again real quick as you guys talk. In case
Okay, so
missed in
there's
the first
two
round.
right there that I need in that picture. Right there.
This one right here.
Yellow and pink. What coincidentally, who's going to be there? Those are the two.
Well, maybe you can ask Chad to hold those back for you.
Pink looks like it might be open. There's a little tab up there at the top, but
maybe
a little tab flipped up. But they look in great shape. And the lot that I bought, it was actually an elderly lady in Alabama, northern Alabama. It was the weirdest, coolest interaction I've ever had. I'm gonna be honest. But she's probably in her 70s, and she had posted on Craigslist, like, I'm talking, it was 2 in the box Tiger Zords, 2 in the box Sabas, a Red Thunder Zord, 8 sets of flip heads, like 5 or 6 triangle boxes. There was like 20 Red Rangers. A bunch of the kicking action ones. Like, it was $500. Like, there was no way I was going to pass that up.
Yeah.
That's where it started. Like, I didn't have any of this stuff. And then it's like, okay, now I got to finish this set. Got to finish this set. Got to finish that set. Anyway, so I love it. I mean, it was such a big part of my childhood. And, any kid coming up through the 90s, right? Like, I mean, there's a reason why they continue to make MMPR stuff, although I know people gripe about it, but it's really the one that did it, and that's what everybody kind of goes back to. So yeah, there are other good seasons. I'm not saying there's not. So if anybody's watching, no comment, right? Like, there's plenty of
it's just our generation, and that's what we grew up on, and that's what always sells, and that's what we're trying to. Every generation has their season, and it's just we're the adults now with the money, so that's the one they keep doing. Just like you said before, your son grew up on his was Megaforce
and Super Megaforce, which is
the
most controversial one of all, right? Like, my son will argue you to the teeth, like, that it's one of the best seasons ever made and why it is,
even though he's wrong, whatever.
I mean, look, there were things about it that I really liked. I liked the fact that it's probably the most throwback season of all of the seasons that they've made. The theme song, a lot of the kind of characteristics, even the helmet with like the mouth area that was very similar. But I don't know. I like them all. I'm one of those Power Ranger fans. Sure, there's better seasons than others, but I like them all, which is why I'm really disappointed that the Lightning Collection is just, I know it's been years now still, but I'm still salty about it. But
yeah,
me too.
They were good figures. They were great. Like, I really think that was.
And the civilian heads, that was a new thing because they never happened before until, back in the 90s when they had the flip heads.
They were good.
That's the closest thing we got.
Really, really good figures. And it's one of those weird brands that it's I don't know. It's got a very diverse fan base. It's got a very like widespread age range of fans. So it's like, I don't know if all of the people who, like you said, MMPR fans, but it's like all these other seasons, people maybe aren't to the point where they can support them yet, like financially and stuff like that. Like you see, like you said, Matt, right? Like the MMPR kids are the ones that are older, generally more established at this point. Maybe that's a lot of what it is, but I just hope for the success for the brand in general. Like, I hope we see new stuff somewhere down the road. I've been trying to branch out a little bit. Like, I've been huge into the Last Ronin stuff and TMNT stuff, and kind of refining my side there, buying DC Multiverse now, Matt. So
yeah, I mean that was me when when Power Rangers ran out. I found other things of DC Multiverse, especially with the Batman stuff, and
they're great. So, I mean, like McFarlane does a really good job, I think.
Oh, they did a fantastic job.
You know,
We'll
they
we'll
haven't
see
even-
after. We'll see in 2027 what happens with X.
I was just gonna say that. Yep. What do they
'Cause-
do after the Batman license goes to Mattel? So
Yeah, I know they said through on their stream the other day through 2026 they're good, but they'll know more for 2027 later on.
So, Chad, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
If you were able to have any wrestler that's still, alive and kind of going into your store to do autographs or meet people, who would it be?
Ooh, that's a tough
You've had a
one
lot
there.
of them already.
That's a tough one there.
Like, who's your golden goose? Like,
we've
the one
had a
person-
lot of WWE Hall of Famers. We've had a lot of legendary guys. That's a tough one. I don't know. I would
like the Undertaker or Kane. They're nearby. I don't know if you ever had those guys. Or...
Undertaker would be a good one. You got to always think about Ric Flair. You always got to think about Hulk Hogan. Two of the biggest names ever. That have their pros and cons. If you listen to the fans out there, those guys. Undertaker would be a big one. Sting would be a big one. He's in his final year.
Oh, Sting would be good.
Yeah, he's
doing a lot of shows now that I'm seeing.
Yeah. He has been for a while, but he's
okay.
He's really making the rounds. I saw today. I saw it advertised. He's doing something I believe it was in Scotland. So he's going over to Europe and stuff because this is supposedly his last year doing appearances and signings. So
really,
yeah. So it's those are probably four of the big guys that are out there right now. But I don't know. It's hard to say. Even if you'd asked me that a year ago or 2 years ago, I would have said Vince McMahon just because he's never done anything. He's never done anything. He's the guy that is really responsible for the industry as we know it.
Sure.
But then, of course, the things that have come to light in the last couple of years. I wouldn't touch that one with a 10-foot pole now.
Lots of controversy.
It's fun to think about like some of the possibilities, but there's a handful.
What about
of guys
maybe not
out there.
alive? Would there be somebody that's passed that you would love to have or meet?
For me, it'd be Andre the Giant.
Yeah, okay. That's a good one.
Yeah, because he never had the opportunity to do a signing or a convention because he passed away in 1993.
Yeah.
So and you look at the wrestling industry, especially a lot of those guys passed away before the convention scene took off. So you think about there could be, Macho Man doing conventions, the Road Warriors doing conventions, which Animal did several, but Hulk passed away before it really got going. But the Mr. Perfects and the Ravishing Rick Rudes and the Kerry Von Erichs and all the guys, that passed away young in the 90s, 80s and 90s. Bruiser Brody, there's so many. It's fun to think about. I actually got to know Macho Man's brother, Lanny Poffo, the Genius.
Really?
And the last time I saw him at a convention, we were talking about it, and because I was telling him the story of the very first wrestling event I ever attended when I was a kid back in 1985. Macho Man was in the main event. It was before he went to the then WWF. He was wrestling out of Memphis. Yeah. And I got to meet him, and he signed a photo for me. I still had the photo, and I was showing it to Lanny and telling him the story. And, he kind of got tears in his eyes, but he was like, he loved the fans so much. Yeah. And he was talking about starting to do some Comic-Cons, starting to do some appearances and do some things when he had his car accident. So that would have been fun to see something like that. There's so many guys that would just been huge on the convention scene.
Yeah. Well, it was weird to me, and I say weird, but it was unusual to me to see wrestlers at conventions like that,
Right.
But then it eventually, made sense, right? They're such an icon in pop culture, and like getting to meet the Hardy Boys, Jeff and Matt, and my cousin was really good friends with Jeff Jarrett. Jeff was here in Nashville for a long time. I don't know if he still is, but
he's still in Hendersonville.
Okay. Yeah. And, like great people. The first thing I remember, I did several pay-per-views when they would be at Bridgestone here in Nashville. And I remember being at the one where Kurt Angle got his head shaved.
Yep. That was Judgment Day 2002. Yeah.
Yes. Where he got his head shaved. So I'll never forget that. I feel like there was maybe a cage match as well. At the end of that.
Yeah, there's Hell in a Cell, Triple H and Chris Jericho with that one.
That's right. That's right. Watching wrestling live when you've watched it on TV your whole life is very strange.
Yeah, it's just much
There's
different
no
because you have no
commentator.
announcers, you have no
Yeah.
commentary, nothing.
You just hear boom, yay!
Yeah, it's much different.
It's much different. Yeah, much different.
Good deal. I just want a quick shout out to Astronaut Ranger Cyan for popping in and hanging out with us. All right. Well, Chad, I don't want to keep you. I mean, Tyler, I don't know if you want to talk, kind of let Chad go for the night, and he's giving us, definitely an hour's time. I mean, you can keep going and talk about. I know you originally want to come on and talk about the Nashville Celebrity Comic Con. I don't know if you will still do that or. But Chad, appreciate you coming on. I don't want to keep you if you got things to go. I know you gave us an hour of your time. So.
Yeah.
So
a bunch of nerds.
Yeah,
well,
you're welcome to stay.
I appreciate you guys having me, and look forward to seeing you both out there next Saturday.
We'll be there.
Yes, sir. We look forward to it. I appreciate you coming on. And just to kind of try to promote you here a little bit, we'll go to here to your website at musiccitytoys.biz. You can buy on his store, and you do offer shipping.
Mm-hmm.
As well as, let me show here. I had to stop one, get to another. You can find him on Instagram.
How old is y'all's building?
That building is 120 years old.
Wow.
Yeah,
it's definitely the old part of town.
Yeah, the entire town's old, but it's
fair enough.
It's cool. That's one of the things that kind of attracted us. We wanted to find a building that had some character and something that we could kind of transform into something unique looking. We went with the graphics in the windows. I kind of had that idea, and it's worked out. It's worked out great for us. It's a cool little town. I call it Mayberry.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely Mayberry.
All right. Yeah, and definitely you can find you on Instagram at Music City Toys. Just Music City Toys. And you also are on Facebook, just Music City Toys, I think. I can't get to it right now. So
Yeah, we're Music City Toys across the board on all social media.
That makes it a lot easier. That's why I try to do Mint Geek.
Keep it even. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, Chad, thank you again for coming on and giving us an hour of your time, allowing us to try to help promote the event next week. We look forward to coming to it and kind of maybe doing a live so hopefully you'll have the stuff in hand. We can try to kind of show it a little better for you and hanging out with Kat and Nakia.
All right, man. Sounds good.
Definitely have the camera out.
All right. Well, I look forward to it, guys. Take care, and we'll see you next weekend.
All right, Chad. Take care, sir. Thank you.
All right. See you guys.
See you. All right, Tyler.
Just the two.
Which one are you going for? You going for the Will Smith or the Dr. Evil one?
I don't know. It's a good question. Very fair point. Very fair point.
My mind goes for the Dr. Evil one first off.
I mean, that's
anymore.
Yes, that's very good. I just need my bandana turned around. So,
Holmes. All right. But let's see. That was great. Was that the first time you met Chad?
Yes, first time I've met Chad. I've kind of sent out a couple of things from promoting Kat and Nakia, which. I can't not support my local stores, right? Like whenever we had Font or Steve Cardenas Toys here in Murfreesboro, I love seeing that and seeing it locally. And mainly a lot of it stems back to right before JDF passed. He was literally in my town like a month before at one of our comic stores, and I never got to know him, and I'm still like, bummed that. I mean, just at that point, I wasn't exactly into all this, right? Like,
same.
I mean, I've grown up collecting to some degree, but I had some hard times coming out of college, and I had to sell off like all of my OG, all the stuff I was talking about earlier, like the Thunder Zord, the White Tiger Zord, Falcon Zord, Ninja Zord, Serpentera, which I finally got back. You see over here. Some of them I have gotten back, including the Thunder Zord, which is over somewhere back there. But, that's set a spark that hasn't stopped. So
Yeah, I
never
get
know
you.
when
I was in my early 20s and living on my own, and I got to the point, I wasn't into it. I was just working all the time, and stupidly, I had all kinds of morphers and Zords, and I sold them thinking I need the money, but now I'm paying 2 or 3 times the price now to get them back. It's just crazy.
I mean, the stuff that I had then, which I mean, I made a good amount even back then selling them. I mean, I had them all still in the box. I was one of those weird kids that like, I literally kept this stuff in the box. I took them out of the box to play with them, like the styrofoams and all that. And then I literally put them all back in the styrofoam, back in the box every time, like never left them out.
Wish I was like that.
The only thing that was broken was on the Thunder, like the assault team on the, what is it, a bear or whatever, the black, that's not a bear, that's on the Ninja Zord. What animal is it? The lion, maybe? I'm not sure.
Which one?
But the black one, the black, that has the little chest piece, where you put the little rangers in. I'm not sure what animal that is. I don't know why I'm struggling.
Brain dead right now too.
But anyway, like the little tab on it, like I had broken a tab and it broke my heart. Like I was so sad. But I sold them all, and honestly, it saved my bacon. Like I couldn't have paid rent that month had I not gotten rid of them. So Lion, thank you. See, I was
there we go.
Place.
I was struggling too.
I was all over the place. Sorry.
Yeah.
But
Ranger Rescue missed out when JDF came on. Still green not. Yeah, I didn't even know about it. I mean, I was still a fan of him throughout all my life, and had I known, and I've told the story before, is like I didn't know stuff like this was around me, and that's when he passed, and I started learning Instagram more and seeing all these signings and stuff. These Rangers that actually do come around locally. I'm like, oh wow, if I don't know this is going on, there's got to be somebody else out here. I want to help spread the word. And that's been kind of
exactly right.
Yep. The base of me starting my channel or my Instagram and kind of starting the channel and just community and whatnot. And I would love for it to grow more, but just doing what we're doing, we're connecting to people that we probably never connect to. I would never connect to you.
Like we got my best friends through Legacy, through this whole thing, right? Like he's like, hey, I got a friend that's in Middle Tennessee as well, and matter of fact, Middle Tennessee is in his name. So I was like, well, I got to meet the guy, right? And then obviously, we got Frankie and we got other people who are here in the state. And honestly, like the con, so kind of talking a little bit about the convention, I met a lot of people. And, one thing about walking around, with a camera in your hand, right, is like people are like, are you taking a video? Are you making a video? So it's a great, and same for you, Matt, right? Like walking around through your DJI, right? Like, so people, know kind of what you're doing, and you get an opportunity to start connecting with the community. And I've met several people, like don't necessarily want to name drop all of them, right? But either like a toy show or at this last convention, I've connected with several from that event, and we chat every other day. We chat regularly, so it's and that's, I think, the whole point is to tie our community together, because we're not as like big as LA or Atlanta, and some of these
San Antonio, Dallas. I mean, we're here, but we're so spread out throughout the state that we have a hard time.
We're rednecks, man. Like pop culture ain't cool here, so we're cool, and we're the true rebels going against the grain. So
well, that was and I'm drawing blank on the term. Crap. I mean, that was when we grew up. That was like, if you were in the Power Rangers, if you were in anything, after 10 years old, you were weird, or were.
Yeah. That was like
you were. You don't. If you ain't hunting or fishing or going to monster truck rallies, you're weird. Yeah, because we're in the South.
Yeah,
and
exactly
stigma.
Right.
That's what I was looking for. It was a stigma. It's like you were afraid to show it, and that was the thing. Like our whole generation of us, we still feel that, and we're here. Like there was probably people we were walking around with that were saying these things, that were liking these things, but there was that stigma. You're a boy in the South. You don't like these things.
Yeah.
You're weird,
or it's super geeky, nerdy, that type of thing. So it definitely was not cool for a long time. And Now it's, I'd say late 20, mid 2010, once kind of the Comic-Con scene really started to build, and the cosplay scene started to build, and, stuff like The Walking Dead got made, all these good comic adaptations, the Marvel, cinematic universe. You started, I think it really picked up a lot of people who became interested in this genre. And right, it's like, it's hard to be a comic book fan and not also be a toy fan or a statue collector, or because you want to have things that help embody those characters and the things that that you really like.
I mean, prime example is that Chris Farley Funko.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not a Chris Farley figure.
Exactly.
There's
right.
never going to be one, but there's a Funko.
But there's a
I mean,
Funko.
I was a big Chris Farley fan. So I mean, when you
That's honestly what
were out
Funko
there, and that's the connection is the nostalgia of feeling what we like and enjoy and being able to collect them.
So, like, these cons are obviously great, and we want to certainly help prop up our local conventions, and we try to go around even to like regional conventions and, try to just have support in like the Southeast. I mean, we go to conventions, Matt, I'd say because you do too, right? We go to conventions in Alabama, and
you more than me, but yeah,
Georgia. I mean, you too. You went to Ranger Stop, you went to Huntsville, right? Like,
I went to a lot last year. That was probably my heavy year.
That was my biggest one too. I had never done that many cons, but I love it. And being able to go film and kind of capture a convention, I think is even more kind of special, because it's like, for me, I like seeing the other people's expression. Like when I was going back kind of editing footage, and I'm working on my day 2 video now, like I didn't realize it at the time that I was filming it, but as I go back and kind of watch these videos, I'm watching the other people, right? And it's such a cool thing to watch these other folks get excited to meet a celebrity, find an item that they really like and enjoy. I don't know. It's just kind of like you just want to go high five them and be like, good job,
Right.
I don't know, maybe that's just me, but it's hey, we're in company here, and you feel like you're hanging out with like
a con feels like a safe space.
It's
to be yourself.
Yeah, very
as weird as it sounds. It does feel like a safe space.
It is.
I got to show this comment here. AZ says I speak
cornbread.
You are very Southern, like worse than me and Tyler would, and that's okay.
That's amazing.
You're you.
Western North Carolina.
Until I talked to him, I had about PR and yours, but soon as I saw him was in Tremont. Yeah, I picked my. I mean, that's it. I mean, it's you didn't notice it until you know what to wear. I mean, I've said it all the time. JDF was all around me, and I didn't know it, and I'll never get to meet him now.
I watched his vlog that he did, like
My Morphin Life, I think.
My Morphin Life. Yeah, I watched it. Every episode he posted of it, I loved it. Right? I mean, I don't know what it was about the guy that it was just so sort of, I don't know.
His energy.
Yeah, it was his energy. It was very much his energy, and his communication. Like, he was good at being able to say things, like hard things. And sometimes it's hard to say hard things, right? And he made it seem more easy and more normal to do that and to have that kind of conversation, it's such a shame, and that's kind of, again, just why I like going to conventions. I don't meet a ton of celebrities when I go, because they're so expensive, and certain cons, they just want to move people, get the signature and go, like meeting Giancarlo Esposito, Moff Gideon, or from Gus from Breaking Bad, right? Like, nice guy, but it was very much like we had him sign the Darksaber, and it was very much like sign and roll.
Right.
It was versus, that's kind of one of the things I like about Ranger Stop so much. Ranger Stop is I think anybody that's ever been to a Ranger Stop convention knows that it's very unique. And I think it's because so many people are like staying at the hotel together. Like, it's like a slumber party that whole weekend. And, you're having an opportunity to kind of interact and talk with these folks and chat with these folks. Not necessarily the same at some of these bigger cons, but the Celebrity Con was good. This Comic Con was good.
I mean, it was good. I mean, I
there's
wish
some
I
room for
get a
improvement.
couple signatures, but the lines were just so long. It's like,
yeah. Well,
we'd already been there for a few hours and kind of covered everything. It's like
the lines were chaos, bro. Like,
mm-hmm.
They had switchbacks taped out on the floor, and nobody was in those switchbacks.
No,
like,
it's that snake thing that they try to do that never works.
Well, I mean, you have to have somebody enforcing it, right? Like, if you go to, like, for instance, as a volunteer at Ranger Stop, if we'd get a line forming for Russell, I, would try to get people to, maintain the line so they weren't in the way. It was their first con, the Nashville Celebrity Comic Con. It was the first one. I expected there to be some hiccups and some growing pains, if you will.
Yeah. And I did see where they're going to have the third part of the building next year.
That's right.
So that's going to probably help as far as just kind of spreading everything out. And
which we've never
maybe
been
they'll be able to get more vendors.
At least I haven't.
I haven't either. So I'm curious.
Nashville
I've always just been in those two
doesn't
sections.
go that big, which is a shame, right? I mean, look at how many people have moved to Nashville from California. Whether it's like especially celebrities. Let's just say even like celebrities. There's so many people that are here concentrated in Nashville.
Catherine Sutherland herself moved to Franklin, Tennessee, and she loves
literally the next town over from me, right? And it's like, why can't we have I'm not expecting, New York Comic Con or San Diego Comic Con size, but why can't we have like, a Fanboy, right? Like Fanboy convention, like that size of a convention, I think would absolutely be supportable. But maybe it's not. Maybe Nashville's just not.
I think it is, but it's the location of where you're going to have it. You can't have it at the fairgrounds. You just can't.
You have to have it at Bridgestone.
You'd either have to have Bridgestone or you'd have to have the Wilson County, their big ag building.
Like the big convention center downtown. It's got plenty of room, right, to do a big convention like that. And it's a beautiful space. Probably costs a fortune. Like the main convention center by Bridgestone.
I don't know it offhand. I probably do. I'm just not thinking about it.
Yeah,
it's then you got to deal with downtown traffic, which is in parking. That's
so they did Walker Stalker Con. There's parking. There's like a massive parking garage in the building, which is kind of unique about this design. It's a great space, but I'm sure it costs a fortune for convention folks to like rent out and purchase. And you probably would have to charge, $60 per ticket, which was the biggest complaint when it comes to Nashville Celebrity Comic Con was the price.
It was expensive.
It was
like me. You were talking like, had we not been given the media pass, we wouldn't have went.
No,
it just wasn't worth it.
I wouldn't have been there. No. And I'm very grateful, very happy, that they were able to give that to us and provide us.
For sure. Was happy to support it. I'm all for supporting local cons and trying to build them up. And that's why I'm so passionate about pushing these Power Rangers, because we're so spread out in Tennessee. Like, if they don't draw enough crowds, they're not going to come back.
No.
And that's why it's a push to push. Guys, come on. You got to show that it's worth it for them to come out here. Yeah. You got to show it for these.
They don't market it well either. I don't think. Like, being
some stores do better than others. We'll just leave it.
Yes, like Fanboy marketing, Huntsville marketing. Just thinking of like regional ones are well above Nashville Comic Con. Just to kind of go for like an established convention. I see more on those two conventions than I ever see from Nashville Comic Con. I follow all their pages. And I have yet to see any update from Nashville Comic Con regarding their convention, which should be coming up either right before or after Ranger Stop. It's usually somewhere right around that same time. Have yet to see anything about it. However, I've seen tons of stuff on Huntsville. I've seen tons of stuff on Fanboy Knoxville, tons of stuff on Ranger Stop, right? Like Chattanooga Comic Con. And so it's like, I don't know. This will be the 5th year, I think, for Nashville Comic Con.
4th. I'm looking at their thing right now. Actually, the week before, it's June 7th through the 8th.
June 7th through the 8th. So do they?
Yeah, and I mean they've announced some guests.
Do they have anybody?
Yeah, I mean, here, let me just share it real quick here. And guys, I know there's only a few of us hanging out, so I'm gonna put it out here. If anybody wants to kind of join and talk to me and Tyler, there's the let's see. I don't know how.
Yeah, I've got to go run eat before long, but
Yeah, I mean, anybody wants to kind of join in if Tyler wants to help out, we haven't done a live in a while, but let me show you this
we
real
need
quick.
to do more. Yeah, we need to get a regular cadence of this and just kind of. I mean, I got so many things that we could talk about. To be honest with you, whether it's the Oh yeah, Sean Astin.
I mean, that was their first announcement back in November. They've kind of trickled in. Let's see. I think
that was last year.
I'm going the wrong way. He was supposed to be there last year. He's coming back this year. I'm not a wrestling fan, so you guys know who that is more than I do.
Yeah, I don't even know who that is.
Phil Lamar, I know that name.
Yeah.
Definitely watch probably most of the.
He was on Mad TV.
Yeah, and then we got Mark Wade. I'm not sure.
Not sure who that is.
Coke. Which Coke creator is?
I was gonna say must be an artist. I'm assuming.
Must be. I think some of these are artists right here. Clayman. Richard Horvitz, the original Alpha.
Yeah. Now that's cool.
I was excited to see that one. He was.
I've come across the 2-pack with Alpha and Zordon, the Lightning Collection. I don't have that yet.
Yeah.
I would get his autograph. Absolutely do that.
I can't remember the name of that particular Beaver, but it was no Angry Beavers. I didn't realize he played that voice. And Jackson Bostwick, I guess he was.
Shazam. Yeah.
Well, technically, Captain Marvel is what it's saying here.
Was he?
It says Jackson is Captain Marvel, the world's mightiest mortal from 1974 Shazam TV show. Okay,
you're right.
I don't get all that.
Yeah.
They didn't give a current photo, so I'm guessing that's not looking good.
He was on the show.
Bryce Pinkham, I guess he's a voice actor. I'm not too familiar with some. Our viewers may know who these guys are, but
I did some Broadway stuff as well. Yeah.
Xander Mobius. A lot of anime voice acting looks like.
Voices, Demon Slayer.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean that's just
pretty much it so far.
Yeah, that's all they've really announced. Hey, we got
and when is it date wise?
I know that. It's the week before Ranger Stop. It's June 7th through the 8th.
Okay.
At the fairgrounds.
Just throwing out a few. So June 7th day. So July 11th through the 13th is Fanboy Knoxville. And you've got Elijah Wood, Alec Baldwin, Tom Welling, Dean Cain, John Schneider, Vincent D'Onofrio, the guy who's Kingpin. I mean, dude, you got like insane amounts of folks. Nick Schwartzen, Steve Burns, Bob Eubanks. I just don't understand, like, Knoxville. How do you get all these cool people?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why can't we have them here in Nashville? It's not a long drive to Knoxville, but still,
it's a little bit of a drive.
Bring all of them here. Hey, it's a Buc-ee's stop on the way. I'm good. So yeah. See, we got the general in the house.
Yeah, let me see. Ranger's got to head where him. Try to see his hobby. Oh, cool. Let us know if you find anything. Be careful out there. I know storms are coming our way tonight, so you're probably gonna be heading your way. You're just
be safe, bud.
Next door to us. So, General Kenobi, great to see you guys live. Yeah, it's we had some technical difficulties in the start because I forgot to hit the go live button because it's been so long. I looked; it was October 21st when I did the Back to the Future themed live show. That was the last time we did a live.
Why have we waited so long to go live? I don't.
Busy, I guess.
Guess so.
And then subject matter is a big thing. But yeah, guys, I put it.
Talk about.
Do what?
Said it's con season. We got stuff to talk about.
Oh yeah, for sure.
There's tons of toy news, too. So.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's stuff to talk about, but I'll think about it, then I'll forget about it.
Yeah.
So there's stuff to talk. Anyone wants to join on for a second? There's the little access key. I know Tyler's going to go here soon. We'll probably start to wind down if nobody else wants to hop on. Kenobi, you're welcome to come on. We would love to hear your take on the Star Wars. I keep meaning to do that with him, is bring him on and hear his wealth of knowledge of Star Wars, because he's here, I'm here. I've watched the movies and a lot of the shows, and that's about the level of where I'm at.
We'll do with Little Trippin and Kenobi, we'll do a trivia and see. Little Trippin he has this freakishly weird memory, and he's he can tell you what episode, what it was, when, who, how, what. Like, I can't keep up with stuff like that. That's just the privilege of being a teenager, I guess. And
Maybe because I can't remember jack squat anymore.
dude, he's freaky, like, with his Star Wars knowledge. Like, it surprises me what he knows. He schools me all the time, you know. Especially like Rebels, Clone Wars, you know, all the, you know, he could tell you everything that happened in Kenobi or Boba Fett or Mandalorian. Like, he's just, I couldn't tell you any of it, dude. Like, I couldn't tell you what I did yesterday. Like,
I can't keep half the names straight. It takes me like 5 episodes to figure out half the names.
but I do love Star Wars. I have to say, like, I'm excited to see the movie that Favreau is going to do with the Mandalorian. I think that's going to be, I think it's going to be really good. I really like Jon Favreau. I've been a big Jon Favreau fan all the way back from, gosh, what the movie he did with Vince Vaughn, and it was
Four Christmases.
No. This was like way back. Somebody in the comments is going to hit it, but it was like a very low budget film. It was the first one done. It'll come to
Swingers.
Me. Yes, Swingers. Thank you.
I knew it was on top of my head. I knew what you were talking about.
Loved it. Yeah, loved it. Chef is a huge movie for me.
Chef's a really good movie.
I love
it's underrated.
And it's a fantastic movie. And I think he could take, but you know, Dave Filoni I know is very good, very smart. Definitely knows his lore, knows his stories, but there's just something about Favreau that I feel, I don't know, like he really gets it. And
if you're still watching, I want your 2 cents on this. What Tyler's saying.
Vision. Yeah, has a good vision for it, and I think a combo even between Filoni and Favreau, which, you know, you saw with the Mandalorian. Yeah, I don't know. I think Favreau's would be a good one to take it on. If Kathleen Kennedy, you know, does back down at some point and they find somebody, I don't think Favreau would run the company, but I definitely, I do see Dave Filoni probably being the best, but he's more of a creative type versus the business type. You know, like Kathleen is more on the business side of things than necessarily the creative side. I'm not saying she's not creative, but I don't know. I just have high hopes for the brand as a, you know, in the future. I love Star Wars and I want to see it be successful. And, you know, even though there's a lot of slack about Rise of Skywalker or, you know, The Last Jedi or even The Force Awakens, like, I'll never forget, like, watching The Force Awakens in the theater. And although the story was a little off, like, every time, man, you saw some of the more updated graphics and visuals of some of the coolest things, you know. It was a cool experience. And I think everybody at the beginning of it was kind of like, all right, this is okay. Then I think the story is what lost most people, you know, reviving Emperor Palpatine and, you know, just, I don't know, there's some story issues, I think, more than anything else, visual or production. I think visual and production was good in my opinion, but
I'd love to get Kenobi on just to hear what he says about your comments right now.
I don't know. He may be on a totally different page, but
probably so. I have no opinion about it either way.
Yeah, I mean,
I take those shows as face value.
I mean, I haven't watched The Acolyte. I haven't watched.
I did watch it. I actually liked it. I don't know why people were hating on it, but
I think it's a little like strange outside of some of the. I mean, I think the biggest issue that Star Wars fans have is kind of the decanoning of what's now called Star Wars Legends, which was, you know, taking a lot of the original canon and stories and stuff, and then just kind of like, yeah, this isn't canon, right? We're gonna go a different way and create something new. And I think there were so many stories out there, and certainly like even George Lucas's original vision of the first of like episode, you know, what, 7, 8, and 9, were a lot different than what we sort of got from them. And I just think fans just, you know, they want to see that. They want to see, you know, the cohesivity and not see everything be so, you know, this person's idea and this person's idea and this person's idea and this person's idea. And, you know, I think when you get too much of that, just personally, just opinion. I think when you get too much of that and don't have good creative control, you see what happens with the MCU, right? Like once Feige really took his hands off of, things from the beginning phases, you started to see the stories get a little odd, and things may
Mhm.
not tie together the best, or things maybe not be casted the best. I mean, people are very sensitive with those brands. Look at us with Power Rangers, or
Mhm.
when they do this Last Ronin movie, right? Like I'm expecting this Last Ronin movie to be top notch. And as a huge Last Ronin fan, I want to see them back in their suits from the 90s. I want the voice actors from the 90s because it's going to be a live action movie. And like
That would be the best way about doing it.
Robbie
'Cause
Risk
that's
and several of the others have said, look, they'll do it. I don't know if you can get, I don't know if you can get some of the original voice actors, but
they ain't doing nothing.
well, I was thinking of what's his name, Corey Feldman, because he did Donatello.
Oh yeah.
Like, could we get Corey Feldman to come back and reprise Donatello? He still sounds like him.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think he's actually a little bit more raspier now because he's actually a singer. So I think he's transitioned his
let's go with
acting
that.
career
He's a
to
singer.
a musician.
Let's go with that.
Yeah, but all right, Tyler. Well, I don't want to keep you. I know you're getting hungry, and it sounds like my girls are starting to wind down. So
What's
looks like
happening?
viewership's kind of stalled out. So I think it might be a good high point to end on, and we'll definitely try to do more of these more frequently, I should say. And guys, remember, we talked about this for the first hour to nausea. Next week, Watertown, Tennessee, Music City Toys and Collectibles. Kat and Nakia will be there for a signing starting at 12 to Last Man Standing. But the bigger, the sadder part of that, their side part of that, not sadder, is that they will have for the first time a collection of original Power Ranger toys, and supposedly all still sealed. Chad mentioned earlier that he still had the gentleman that passed that had these things still kept the receipts from where he bought them in the stores. So be a cool thing, give you a lot of nostalgia. You saw a couple things you wanted, and I definitely, if the price is right, maybe I can get one of those Megazords because I never had an original. But we'll see. But yeah, thanks for showing up. Frankie, you were the first one here. Appreciate that. Appreciate you seeing where we screwed up and I didn't hit the go live button. Tyler wasn't watching me. So we were actually live for about a good 10 minutes before we realized that we weren't live. Let's see. Range Race Repair. I think he's already had to take off, but thanks for hanging out with us for a while. Josh, he's always very supportive of us. Appreciate the love.
Huge shout out to Josh. Shipped me an action figure all the way from Michigan. Thank you, Josh.
Yep. Let's see. The Astronaut Ranger Cyan. We didn't get to say much to you earlier, but appreciate you stopping by. And who else was it? Kenobi. General Kenobi. I don't know if you stayed or just maybe popped in for a second, but thanks for stopping by and hanging out and just saying hi to us at least. We appreciate you. Got to meet him actually back at the ICC con this past year. A very nice guy. So,
which will be in my town this year. It'll be in Murfreesboro.
Are you going?
Yes, I will be at ICC. Absolutely. There's a couple of OG Turtle actors or voice actors that's going to be there.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen that. And the guy voice Splinter, I think they just
Kevin,
recently announced.
I can't ever remember his last name, but
no,
I'm pretty sure it's Kevin. And speaking of Kevin, I'm gonna get to meet Kevin Easton at Huntsville.
Yeah, I'm still on the fence about that one. I'm waiting to hear back, see if I get approved for media or not.
Yeah,
I haven't heard back on that
one too, so I haven't heard back yet either. So
maybe
it'll be a Nashville Celebrity Con kind of thing where you got to write them twice.
Maybe.
But anyway,
Tyler, I appreciate you coming and hopping on. You fill the gaps in talking where I lack, so it's always good to have somebody there for me to back me up.
Sorry.
Sometimes, but it's okay. I don't talk enough. So, and Chad, he's a big talker too. I mean, the first time I met him, he's sitting there just yammering on, with customers and stuff. I'm like, wow, and it's not a bad thing.
No,
Definitely not. I wish I was more of a talker,
That's what you want, yeah.
especially when you're in sales. I mean, talking is definitely helps. To see y'all in June, if not next weekend. Yeah, try to make it up, man. We'll be there.
Come on.
You'll get, if you can. I mean, they're going to be in your neck. They'll be there Sunday in Chattanooga to make up the other event. So if we get it, don't come up here just when they're coming to you. I get it, but
we'll see you at Nashville or Chattanooga Comic-Con. If not,
yeah, for sure. All right, Tyler, you got any final words? Anything else you want to lead off with?
No, but hey, if you haven't, head over to Tripping Over Toys on YouTube or Instagram. Follow my content as well as Matt's. I've got some stickers that I'm finally making. So if you guys want a sticker, let me know, and we'll see if we can't get you a sticker. So.
Or if you see him in a shop or something, maybe he'll carry him around with him. Because he'll be the guy with the camera in his hand at all times.
That's right. Usually all my pictures at Disney's like this, like coming down a rock, like me with the camera in my hand, either my phone or whatever. So, and I'm excited to go back there because we head back to Disney in June, and I will absolutely be vlogging that whole experience. So, yeah.
No, for sure. All right, guys. Yeah, definitely check out Tyler's YouTube, his Instagram, Tripping Over Toys. He does this for a living, making videos, so his videos are definitely a lot better than mine, but he's teaching me. So, all right, Tyler, well, I'll let you go. Everyone, thank you again, and we'll try to do this more often. I'd like to get more people involved because it seems like we really have a good time when more people are kind of joining in and talking on stream. So,
we got it.
All right, guys. Don't forget to unleash your geek, let your fandom shine, and have a great weekend. And stay safe. The storms are coming.